A common dilemma for students is whether or not they should cram or get some sleep. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the science and make it very clear what the choice is. This is not a new dilemma. Ever since higher education came about 100 or more years ago, probably if you go way back to Hippocrates' times, thousands of years ago, it was always an issue with students, how to best retain and recall and perform on exams. The brain is a living organism. It must be treated as such. It needs care, love, and sleep. And we'll get into the reasons and rationale behind how all that will affect your memory. And I'll explain why or why not cramming, staying up late, skipping sleep is detrimental. It's been shown scientifically that within 20 minutes, the vast majority of humans lose 40% of their short-term recall of recently learned facts. So if you're cramming right before an exam, if you're not going to get that information out within 20 minutes, you're going to probably lose 40% of that. And it's not the best strategy. So just take that into mind. And we'll also get into why trying to keep things in your short-term memory and then take an exam is like literally shooting yourself in the foot. This is maybe a little bit pedantic and scientific, but back in the 1950s, they noted surgically when patients' hippocampuses were removed, a deep brain structure, that they had a hell of a time consolidating memory. Their short-term memory was shot, their long-term memory was very problematic. About the only thing they could do is perform motor skills over and over again and recall those specific things. For example, playing the piano, operating tools, doing some manual manipulative tasks with objects. But in terms of recalling memory and learning new things, this was extremely difficult. Many students will rely on caffeine to avert the pressure to sleep. And there's a few buzzwords on the slide here that I'm not going to get into in specific detail, but the reality is that caffeine is a complex substance. Although it is known to boost cognitive performance in memory in certain settings and situations, understand that individuals have different metabolism abilities for caffeine, and when it's consumed beyond a certain point in the day, it will have a long-term effect because of its longer half-life that can disrupt sleep and the different phases of sleep, which are essential and absolutely critical for memory, performance, and consolidation. Not only the metabolism of the brain and a variety of other things can be altered by caffeine. I'm not advocating against caffeine. I love coffee. I drink it myself, but it has to be done with a conscious knowledge of what it can do in the body, and the timing of it is a critical factor. Let me know if you have questions about that. Memory is a global process. It requires integration and consolidation to deliver the results that you want as a student on an exam. This doesn't matter if you're a junior high, high school, college student, medical student, law student, or if you're a financial executive studying for Series 5 or any number of exams that are required as an adult in the real world. And by disrupting this process, by short-circuiting sleep, it affects the way the hippocampus and the thalamus relay information to and from the cortex and put that information into long-term, which is absolutely essential and critical. It's the process that you as a student must want, need, and desire to happen at all costs. That's really the differentiator between an average performance and an outstanding performance, is how well your brain can take information and shift it from the long-term or from the short-term into the long-term circuits, which will allow you to recall that in times of need. Sleep is the absolutely critical factor in this equation. You need sleep. There's no way around it. And there's a variety of different studies out there, and there's different sources and experts that claim that they know exactly what you need as an individual. Only you will know that. I cover all this in my sleep course and how to track and tell that, and some tools that can be used. But the take-home point here is that an all-nighter is not going to give you the results that you desire in an exam. If you got some impressive result, more than likely it's probably partly due to chance, or partly due to the excessive amount of repetition and rote memory that was utilized to try to cram all that stuff into the short-term memory and then spew it out. But in reality, if you took that same exam in a month or 2 months, the result will be much different. And for certain professions like medicine, law, engineering, physics, recall of specific techniques, facts, and memory sets are really a differentiator between an average performer and somebody who is outstanding. So take this slide and this bullet point to heart. It's absolutely critical in terms of your performance. There are different types of sleep, different phases and depths of sleep, but the summary here is that non-REM sleep is critical. It helps prune synapses, helps clear up debris and clutter, and helps declarative memory. Declarative memory is that memory which helps you declare, to recite, to recall, to pull out the formulas, the facts, the data points that are necessary. Unfortunately, I don't agree with everything in modern day educational systematology. This is a whole nother discussion, but the reality is that in today's age, that declarative memory is really key for getting the grades that a student wants, to get scholarships, to get accepted into medical school, law school, physical therapy, graduate school. All those things are critical. REM sleep will help with procedural things, piano, physical tasks that can be integrated into memory and performed almost at a subconscious level. And so those are the different phases of sleep that are important in memory. You can't have one without the other, but they're both important. But I just wanted to point that out as just a point of distinction. You want certain results. You invested time, energy, and money into your education. Let science guide you. Take the information and the fact that your brain needs sleep as a key point. Einstein's definition of insanity was doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I see this all the time with the students I work with. They stay up all night, they cram, they drink excessive amounts of caffeine, and smoke cigarettes, a variety of other things to try to stay awake. And then when the exam comes, maybe they're tired, maybe they're sick, they're run down, and their performance is not what they wanted it to be. And they ask me, what could I have done different? And oftentimes it's a very simple answer. Take care of yourself, take care of your body, and number one, take care of your brain. Feed it, give it the sleep it needs. You can't argue with physiology. You can't cheat science. The brain's a living organism. It needs to recover, repair, and regenerate. The brain's a plastic structure through a variety of processes, including sleep, rest, nutrition, exercise. You can stimulate a substance called BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and help the brain rewire itself, form new neural connections. It's an impressive structure, and when cared for properly, it can deliver the results that you as a student are looking for. The bottom line is that you're going to fall to the level of your training. You're not going to rise to your expectations when it comes to exam day. So if you're taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, you're getting sleep, you're letting your brain consolidate the memories of short-term study into long-term memory and recall, you'll be rewarded with the results that you're looking for. So I hope you found that helpful. As always, if you have any questions or comments, I'm here for you. Just message me. Let me know how it goes. Thanks.